Welcome to She Sells Radio. I am so excited to bring you this hopefully complete paradigm switch for you today, which is that failure means it's time for you to think bigger. And, I was driving down the road the other day and I heard that, and I forget who I heard it from, but I remember feeling like I needed to pull over on the side of the road and stop and just take a moment to take it in, because is it not so true? And in my own life, I can think back to so many times like this where, I set a goal and it was probably what I thought I should be doing. Like, if I'm being so honest, and you know what I mean, when we almost betray ourselves, right? Because we say, well, the thing I really want is this, but what I think I can get, or what I think people want from me right now is this. So I'm just going to go after that because I think I can actually do it. And then, we do the thing, we put the offer out there, we, make the client calls, we do whatever the goal is tied to. And it just doesn't happen. And what I've realized along the way, now, sometimes, here's what I'll say. Sometimes it literally is just that, hey, you need to give it more time, right? And we talk about this a lot on the podcast, the law of gestation, that every goal, everything you're creating, it has a gestation period to it. We don't know how long that is. And for me, there's a bit of a difference, though, that I can usually feel, where it's like, okay, I know this thing is creating, but it's taking longer than I thought, and that's okay. Versus you go for something and it's like, it's an epic failure in whatever sense of the word you want to call it. And when that is the case, I want you to start using that as your cue of, you aren't actually thinking big enough for yourself. You've been thinking too little of yourself. Because what does our brain want to do? It wants to say, like, when something like that happens, oh, you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough. Your brain will tell you you're thinking too big and you should settle for less. And none of that's true. I want you to start looking at that as an invitation to actually expand your thinking and to realize, oh my gosh, in some way, shape, or form, I had thought too little of myself. And when we know this, we can relax, because the way that I approach goals is always this or something better for the highest good of all involved. That's kind of the little caveat I put at the end when I'm doing my journaling or when I'm doing my goal setting, is like, hey, here's the vision I have right now. This is how I can view my best and most epic life right now. And I know that I have a limited human perspective with this. So if there is a better, bigger path for me, for everyone I'm connected to, I want that to be what happens. And so when we set our goals that way, we can kind of relax that if something doesn't go according to plan, if something feels like an epic failure in the moment, what it really means is that there's something better in store for you. And it's not a consolation prize. When I say this, it sounds like a consolation prize. It's not. It literally is that there is something better in store for you. So, two ways to apply this right now. One is, again, when you feel like you're having a failure, stop and ask yourself, where did I think too small? Where am I being invited to think bigger? Where have I cut myself off from the vision? And maybe I said I really wanted this thing, and I went after it for a while and it didn't happen. So I reduced the goal. This is why when I'm working with clients and they tell me that they've reduced their goal, like, unless it is a spiritually guided thing, which sometimes, very rarely, very rarely, sometimes it is, not often, more often than not, it's that they forgot that every seed has a gestation period and they're getting impatient. And they're like, okay, I gotta, like, this, I'm thinking too big, so I got to reduce it. I'm like, no, 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 no. We don't reduce goals around here. We may expand the time frame if need be, but we don't reduce goals. That goal was a vision of yours. That goal was a divine download. That goal was something that excited you and lit your heart on fire. So it's not about reducing the goal. And the other way I want you to think about this is if there's something you've been going for a period of time, and it feels like nothing is happening towards it. Maybe I'm just going to use this example. And again, everybody's money goals are unique to them. So there's no like right or wrong amount. I want you to know that as I share this example. But let's just say, for example, maybe you're listening and for a while now, you've been like, you know what? If I could just make $5,000 a month, life would change so much. And there is a time in many of our lives where it would, and where that is life changing. And if you've been going for a long amount of time and you've been doing the things and it's like, it's not budging, I want you to start thinking of it as an invitation for you to think way bigger for yourself and to look at, is that really what I want? Or am I saying that because that's what I think I can get? What do I really want? Do I want to make 10,000 a month? Do I want to make 100,000 a month? Do I want to make 1,000,000 a month? Right? What do I really want? And to know and to trust that the thing that you really want, that's what's meant for you. And it's the way that I think about it. And I love thinking about it this way is it's like everything that you really want is like right behind a door that you're standing in front of. And we keep that door closed with our self-limiting thoughts, with our insecurity, with our doubt. But when you just remember that it's literally there waiting for you to open the door and step into it, and it doesn't have to be any more grand than that. It doesn't have to be any more emotional than that. It doesn't have to be any more dramatic than that. That's when it happens, because finally you don't have resistance around it anymore. So the whole invitation here is for you to reframe how you defined failure previously and to start thinking way bigger for yourself. And I want to hear your feedback. I want to know from you. I'm at Elyse Archer on all social. Where do you see that you need to be thinking bigger? Where do you see that you've been playing small? Where do you see that you've been trying to force yourself into a little box that was actually never big enough for you in the first place? So send me a DM or take a screenshot of this and tag me on social. I want to hear your biggest takeaway. And I just want to say thank you for tuning in to today's episode. And if you're a woman looking to break through her first 6 figures and start making 10,000 or more a month, I want to invite you to check out, we have the most incredible brand new 10K club program at elisearcher.com/10K club. And then of course you can head over to elisearcher.com for all sorts of other goodies and trainings to help you elevate your sales and step into a greater level of financial abundance and truly transform into the person that you know you were meant to be. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And right now I want to encourage you to go listen to one of our other She Sells Radio episodes for continued inspiration. I'll see you on